If you are wondering how to engage with your firm's strategy, this video will apply Mintzberg's 5 P's of strategy to Ryman Healthcare to show you how you can think about your firm's strategy. We know that the past is a trip already travelled by our equity investors. To analyse our firm's financial statements and value our firm, we need to do more than simply look at the past. We need to forecast our firm's future earnings. We will all be doing this for our firms later in our unit. Our firm's future earnings depend on its strategy and how well it is implemented. This is about adding value in the future, changing a firm's economic and business realities in the future. We need to understand our firm's strategy before we can analyse our firm's financial statements and value our firm. As we saw in Chapter 2 of the study guide, no one has ever seen our firm's strategy. So how do we find, make sense of and understand our firm's strategy? Henry Mintzberg, a Canadian academic, has described some ways we can think about our firm's strategy. See Appendix 1, Firms Have Strategies, in the study guide for a discussion of 10 schools of strategy formation, applied to the strategies we can have to studying at university. We will now look at the 5 P's of strategy. Mintzberg suggests strategy can be a plan, a ploy, a pattern, a position, or perspective. Let us discuss each P in turn. The first P is for plan. A strategy can be some sort of consciously intended course of action, how a firm intends to address the markets, environment, and challenges it faces. Ryman Healthcare has consciously decided to use its in-house team to identify sites, purchase land, and design, construct, operate and own integrated retirement villages to provide a full spectrum of services from independent townhouse living to hospital-level care, and to typically attract retired residents from existing communities within about a 10-kilometre radius of each retirement village. And Ryman Healthcare will not acquire existing retirement villages or rest homes, but will build its own. It will not develop standalone lifestyle villages, but will only build integrated retirement villages providing access to different levels of care. It will not acquire other companies providing retirement villages. And it will currently not diversify geographically beyond New Zealand and Victoria in Australia. Ryman Healthcare has a conscious, consistent plan to address the markets, environment, and challenges it faces. A strategy can also be a ploy to outmaneuver or outsmart a competitor, predicting potential actions of competitors, second-guessing them, and seeking to influence their actions. Ryman Healthcare's land bank of future development sites for retirement villages could be a ploy to make these sites unavailable to competitors. Ryman Healthcare has identified the key strategic importance of controlling suitable sites. It is difficult to acquire suitable sites for large-scale retirement villages in urban areas close to existing communities of its target market. We can also see a strategy as a pattern, a consistency in a firm's behaviour, how a firm typically operates, which may emerge over time rather than result from a premeditated, deliberate plan. Ryman Healthcare started as a small company, conducting all its activities in-house, including property development, construction, and the marketing and management of retirement villages and rest homes. As Ryman Healthcare grew, it further developed its in-house capacities to accommodate its growth. As the scale of Ryman Healthcare's activities has grown significantly, this pattern of behaviour may have developed into a strategy of preserving key capacities in-house. A successful pattern may have developed into a strategy. And a strategy can also be how a firm places itself in its environment, or in other words, how it matches its activities to its environment. A strategy can be how a firm focuses its activities in a niche or place in its environment to generate abnormal returns. Key aspects of Ryman Healthcare's environment are strongly growing demand. The retirement village and aged care industries in New Zealand and Australia are largely fragmented among many owners. The government provides substantial subsidies for people in rest homes and care subsidies for people in family homes. The government has been increasing the level of regulation of retirement villages in both New Zealand and Australia. There are also significant barriers to entry in the retirement village and aged care industries in New Zealand and Australia. Ryman Healthcare has positioned itself within this environment by focusing on growing organically, that is through expanding its existing operations, acquiring a substantial land bank of suitable sites, positioning itself for future growth while restricting opportunities for competitors, and actively lobbying and engaging with government. And the fifth P is perspective. A strategy can be something inside the heads of key individuals in a firm, a definite, ingrained way of perceiving the world. How do Ryman Healthcare's key players, and its staff more generally, view their world? Ryman Healthcare has many caring, conscientious staff working in its retirement villages and rest homes. There does appear to be a view of genuinely caring for the needs of the elderly and to support them as they age further. However, Ryman Healthcare is growing rapidly. Is the perspective of key players in the firm changing as it grows and becomes more successful? Is it losing its focus on caring for the elderly in its retirement villages as it becomes a major company and some of its senior staff become wealthier through the firm's employee share scheme? This has been an introductory look at strategy. I've sought to stimulate your interest to develop an ability to discern and connect with your firm's strategy. A firm's future earnings will depend on the quality of its strategy and how well it is implemented. Understanding our firm's strategy is key to understanding how it intends to add value. For further information on strategy, go back to Chapter 2, Section 2.2 in the study guide and review the Strategy Weekly questions. Also answer, write and rate questions on strategy in Peerwise.